So, what if the internet had a conscience? Well, there's a startup trying to build exactly that, with this wild plan to give artificial intelligence a care layer. And their guiding principle? It's modeled on, of all things, a mother's intuition. It's a seriously radical idea for tackling one of the biggest tech challenges of our time. And that really gets to the core question, doesn't it? This isn't just some technical problem you can solve with code and algorithms. It's deeply philosophical. I mean, how do you actually instill something as human as care into a machine? Well, this startup thinks they have an answer, and it's surprisingly simple. Their answer is what would mother do, or WMD. The idea here is that instead of getting totally lost in these complex ethical frameworks, AI behavior should be guided by the same principles of good parenting. You know, stuff like patience, setting clear boundaries, and encouraging pro-social behavior. It's a very human-centric rule for raising what could be helpful, responsible members of our digital world. Now, to get why this is so urgent, we really need to look at what the internet is like right now. It's quickly turning into this wild, lawless frontier for AI. And frankly, the numbers are just staggering. Okay, so for the first time ever, automated traffic, bots, has actually surpassed human traffic online. Bots now make up over half of all web activity. And a huge chunk of that, almost 40% of all internet traffic, is from bad bots. You know, the ones designed for spam, scams, and all sorts of other nasty stuff. And this is the world our new AIs are being born into. So the problem is pretty clear, right? We have all these AI agents being released onto the digital highways without any system for identity or licensing or accountability. The team behind AI Mama has this perfect metaphor for it. The internet needs a DMV for AI, a way to register these agents, make sure they operate safely, and, hold them accountable when they don't. So how on earth do you actually build a DMV for the entire internet? It sounds impossible. But the team has broken this monumental task down into a 3-layered master plan, and they're starting right from the ground up. It all starts with a foundation: infrastructure. Their biggest, most ambitious goal is to create a whole new top-level domain. Think of it like a new .com or .org, but made specifically for verified AI agents. They plan to do this through ICANN's program for new domains. This would basically create a dedicated, trusted piece of internet real estate where you know the AI you're talking to has met a certain standard. Then there's the second layer, alignment. This is where that whole "what would mother do" philosophy really gets put into practice. And this isn't just some vague idea. They're developing concrete benchmarks, rating systems, and policy templates that'll act as the rules of the road. This is how they'll make sure every AI agent in their system is guided by those core principles of care and responsibility. And finally, we have the application layer. This is how they plan to show, not just tell, their vision to the world. They're building things like video games, ones called Guardian Transfer Robots, to act as safe training grounds, where humans can actually teach AIs how to be helpful. It's a pretty clever way to generate data and show off their philosophy in a fun, engaging way. And look, this isn't just some far-off dream. They have very real, concrete 90-day goals. Right now, they're getting their application ready for ICANN, that's the organization that manages web domains, while also building a demo of their alignment benchmark and developing the first playable version of their game. They are turning this grand vision into reality one step at a time. But what's really fascinating here is that they are not approaching this like a typical tech company at all. To make their vision really connect with people, they're building a whole culture around it, blending all this deep tech with creativity. I mean, they're using a whole spectrum of art forms to make their ideas feel real. We're talking serious games that act as training sandboxes, generative music, even art that uses their proposed internet infrastructure. By doing this, they're not just building a technical protocol. They're building what they call a momverse, this whole creative world designed to make their hopeful vision for AI accessible to everyone. And this contrast, it just gets right to the heart of what's at stake. They frame our choice as one between two very different futures. On one side, you have the solar punk vision, an optimistic, tech-integrated world where humanity and nature are in harmony. And on the other, this cyberpunk dystopia, a dark, corporate-controlled future that could happen if we get AI alignment totally wrong. But, of course, this grand vision faces some very real, very immediate challenges. They are in an absolute race against bureaucracy, legal hurdles, and the relentless ticking of the clock.
the year 2026 is basically make or break for them. They've got this super narrow window from April to August to submit their application for that new top-level domain. At the exact same time, they're facing a hard deadline to convert their provisional patents into full patents, which is crucial for protecting their ideas. It's an incredible amount of pressure all converging at once. And just getting that ICANN application in the door comes with a hefty price tag. The base fee alone is a staggering $227,000. And that's just the entry fee. That doesn't even include any of the other operational, legal, or technical costs. On top of all that financial pressure, they're navigating some serious legal minefields. The U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, the USPTO, has hit them with a challenge on one of their key brand names, AI.XYZ, saying it might just be too generic to trademark. Now, part of the problem actually stems from their own materials. They've used different versions of the brand name, like AI.XYZ, AI.XYZ.AI, and the AI.XYZ. This kind of inconsistency creates ambiguity, which is something that regulators and investors really don't like. So their law firm basically laid out 3 different options to deal with the trademark issue, and each one has its own cost and its own strategic trade-offs. It's a perfect example of the kinds of complex, high-stakes decisions a small startup has to make every single day while chasing a massive vision. Okay, so with all these huge, almost existential challenges, we're talking massive fees, legal fights, impossible deadlines. What do you do first? Well, you focus on the smallest possible step that can prove your idea actually works. In the startup world, this is called a wedge MVP. It's not the full grand vision, it's the simplest, most focused product you can build to get a foothold, generate some momentum, and prove to the world and to yourself that your core concept is for real. And that's exactly what they've decided to do. Their wedge is the AI Mama Benchmark. It's a practical, simple tool, a rating system, and a web demo that they can start using right now. This lets them generate some early revenue through consulting and training. But more importantly, it creates real-world evidence that their what would mother do philosophy can actually work. Which, brings us right back to where we started. This entire ambitious, chaotic, and incredibly creative project really boils down to one provocative question. Is it possible that the answer to one of technology's greatest challenges, aligning AI with human values, has been sitting right in front of us all along, in the simple, powerful wisdom of a caregiver?